This is East Coast coverage. Shout out to Breaking Records Radio. Like us and subscribe on YouTube, all that good shit. I am the East Coast Beast host. I've got a very special guest, so let's get to it. She said, call me someone, because I am someone. Please help me welcome the queen of the Forest City, MC Sum-01.
Thank you so much. Mike,
Thank you.
how are you?
I'm blessed to be here right now. It's very good to have you.
How's the audio? How's the audio?
It's great.
Good? Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Thanks for taking the time out. Can we start from the beginning with you?
Yeah, I mean, when you say beginning, it was
Okay, please correct me at any time if I get anything wrong, okay? You were born in Uganda and moved to London, Ontario at a young age?
Yeah, well, technically I was born in Kenya, but it's a long story, but my parents fled from Uganda and then I was born on the way. So it's like,
okay.
But yes, I am Ugandan, Canadian.
Hell yeah. So you had a little trouble adjusting through grade school, but then you got into ciphers and you kind of started to fit in. Would you say that?
To be honest, Mike, I never really felt like I did fit in, but at least I felt comfortable in my own skin once I started getting into writing and performing hip hop. Definitely.
Cool. What were you expressing at an early age? Were you freestyling in the ciphers, or were you putting together poetry that you put to rhythms, or what was the deal?
Well, actually I used to freestyle a lot when I was a lot younger, and it was just all fun, right? So nothing really had to make sense, and it was always like at a party or like at recess in high school,
right.
I guess on lunch break or when you're skipping class and just hanging out at the church, smoking weed and such, and just taking it. And but I think that was what helped inspire me to start really taking writing seriously. So I would say that, yeah, way back it was definitely all fun and like sporadic, and there'd be like a guy or two beatboxing, and it was really like a clip from a old John Singleton 1990s hip hop movie. Like, it's just like, when you talk about it, it's like, I don't know if you watched Sister Act 2, but
I did. You know it.
Okay, so I probably watched that movie like back to back on VHS. So, and that's when I started falling in love with Lauryn Hill, and she was just coming out with the Fugees and all that. So anyway, those stories are intertwined, but I'm like, there's a scene where they're like at the basketball court, which is on like the ceiling because they're in an inner city, you know, and there's like this barbed wire fencing around, and they all start kind of kicking it, and like and Lauryn Hill, she busts a rap in that and everyone goes crazy, and then I think like a teacher comes. But anyway, I always like, when I think back, I'm like, it's almost like that nostalgia of just hanging outside, like kids just being kids or teens just being teens, and wanting so badly to have, you know, that congregation or that unity that relates to them, which was hip hop. So yeah, definitely way back there was a lot of ciphering and freestyling.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
You really started rapping in 2002, like laying down verses? Hell yeah.
That's a fact. Good job.
That's what's up. I found the $2 Holla mixtape in 2008. That was dope as fuck.
Oh my gosh. It's funny listening back to your early stuff, but
yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's definitely contrasting it style wise to what you would put out today, or, you know, some of your latest stuff. But you saw the vision right from the jump, I think. And it was, I think, harder to convince people around you of what you were trying to display than you knew because you already knew the vibes.
True say. That's yeah, you're bang on again. So very, very poignant. Yeah, that's basically, I mean, I knew I knew I was someone at that time. I really had a lot of energy coming out of college there, like around 2002. Between that and 2005, I had a lot of energy, and then it really started to fade come 2005, where I was like I was in Toronto. I was like handing out demos to record labels. I was trying to like, you know, link with the right producers and produce the right tracks. And like, long story short, lots of screw overs, lots of empty promises. And like, you're a young, naive girl. Like, obviously looking back, it's clear as day, but when you're young and naive, you're young and naive. So they see like this girl from London, Ontario, that clearly isn't like a Toronto girl, quote unquote. Or they like, you know, easy to take advantage of, or like, so that the first attempt at really owning my music and didn't go as planned, and I took a long break. And it wasn't my first break, but I took a long break.
Well, they call you the comeback kid for a reason. So I mean, pretty much on every album or mixtape going forward, you said I'm back.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know? Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah. You know, you did "Oh No She Didn't" in 2010, the EP.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you were saying, "Oh, she's back" on that shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Hell yeah, you were. Yeah. Of course you were. Because I feel like for someone who uses rap as therapy, it would feel like forever, you know, to take a break that long.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that for sure. And then you gave us the $2 Holla 2.0 in 2018.
Yeah.
Fire. And the comeback queen.
Yes, sir.
In 2019. Oh my God. But where you really started to heat the streets up was when you did Making Moves. We really got to dig into that one because.
Yeah. Shout out DJ Moves. Shout out.
Hell yeah. How did you get in contact with Moves? How did you even decide, yo, I want to work with him?
Well, that's a long story, but I'll shorten it.
Okay.
DJ Hollywood was the main inspiration for that, because honestly, it had been so long that I kind of took a break. I mean, I obviously did the $2 Holla 2.0, and I knew I was going to do a project, but I knew I wanted to come with an EP after the Comeback Queen, just because they're so much fun, and no one has the patience. Not no one, but people have less patience for long projects. So I was like, let's just bump out something quick. Let's do another EP after the Comeback Queen. So he came up to me and he was like, basically he said, I don't even think he said, we were talking about doing like a project with East Coast artists and East Coast producers. So that's when Move's name got brought up. Like, he was the first person Hollywood mentioned, and coincidentally around that time, Moves often does these flash sales of beats.
Yes, he does.
Follow him, and it was like around that same time, and I think I friended him on Facebook, something along that lines, and then I saw the ad go up, and I pretty much, I think I forwarded it to Hollywood, and I was like, look at this, and it was kind of like, well, it was kind of like serendipitous, or it just intrinsically came together that way. I've known of Moves because he's come to London before, and I've like been at shows where he's been performing, and like didn't even cross paths. And then so we met basically virtually, digitally, and this is before the pre-pandemic, right? But yeah, we made that link online, and he started sending me beats, and I was like, it was like a yay or nay type of thing until I picked like my top 5 or 6, and then shortly after we flew out to Halifax. No, we drove out to in 2019. This is like right after the Comeback Queen project dropped. And it was a long trip. Like I had kids in the car. So Hollywood and I drove out. It took us like 2.5 days or so because we stayed overnight in Quebec.
Mhm.
Anyway, we eventually got there, and so I met Moves for the first time. Also met the label when we were out there on that trip. Black Buffalo's out there in Halifax, and
Absolutely.
everything just kind of like really just melted together. Like I can't even say that I planned it, because it was almost like it was already planned, and we're just kind of following the footprints. So it was very cool. Moves is awesome, and recording at his place was crazy. It was crazy dope and crazy fun.
Hell yeah. All the tapes and like albums he's got and stuff on the wall,
It's
man.
a museum. It's basically a museum.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck
I'm surprised he's not frisking us when we're leaving.
Yeah, totally, dude. There should be a
Like,
metal detector or something.
Yeah, VHS tapes, records, cassettes, even just like paraphernalia, like posters and mugs, and like just it's awesome. That place. What's it called?
The halfway house.
Halfway house. I was gonna call it the halfway dungeon.
No, the halfway
That's
house.
somewhere else, Trish. Yeah, it was so much fun. Like honestly, Mike, it was great.
Yeah, they're great dudes, and it was so big for the East Coast that you did that, because we don't get fucked with a lot, and like we do have a lot of great talent out here.
Oh my, it's like tremendous. It's tremendous amount of talent. Like it's not even like it's in comparison to like mega cities like Toronto, and London is not in not in comparison to Toronto, but I think the East Coast has a pretty heavy hitting like independent music scene, not just hip hop, R&B, like jazz, you name it. Like the East Coast is like the music scene of Canada, in my opinion.
I agree.
Like it's the most like effervescent and constantly changing. And there's a lot of love out there. Like you can feel it. Like even us coming from Ontario, like I didn't want to leave. Like when 10 days was up, I was like, I need to find out how to get into real estate and move here. Like I didn't want to leave. And every time I visit, I always say the same thing when I'm leaving. Like I'm really sad. Like it's weird that I have that connection. But as soon as I got there, and so basically we went for I think seven days, and 4 days we were in Halifax, and one of those nights we went to Truro. And the next day we left, like to come back to Ontario. So it wasn't like I had 2 or 3 days to record. Like we did it all in one night.
It came together quick.
Yeah, it came together very quick. I started writing once we hit Halifax. So I had like three days to write, and then we hit up Moves on I think the 4th or 5th night, and then we drove back.
Wow.
And
was that like daunting for you?
I'm just flashing the vinyl.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
I think this is the last copy, honestly. Was it daunting? The trip itself, on the way back, not so much, because the kids were dropped off with their grandparents. So that was part of our reason to go out there as well. So the trip back was totally chill. It was like listening to First Words, and like we were just going through all these like great hip hop, like East Coast albums on the way back. Because not only were we there to record with Moves, we were also there to do interviews for our Word Up 24-hour hip hop series that we do once a year here at Radio Western. So we actually got to interview Joe Run Bombay, Classified. I got to interview DJ Ivy and Mackenzie from Hip Club Groove.
Wow.
And so during that week, we also were doing interviews and meeting up with people and just trying to like get as much as we could out of our short time in Halifax.
Oh, and just make an EP while we're here. Nothing serious. Fuck. That sounds scary. But it was amazing. Yeah, how did you pick the features?
That was also organic, because at the studio, I believe, when we were in Halifax that week, we met up with with Tachichi and Fess. That's another interview we got, Fester, DJ Uncle Fester. And it was more so, it was very organic again, where it was like, my plan was to meet up with him and have him jump on the verse while I was there, but it was like a scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
So Tachichi recorded it before I actually came up. And then L, like Lavender, Moves was the one, like when I introduced myself to him on Messenger or whatever, he messaged me back like, listen out for my girl. Here's a track I'm working on for her. And he kind of gave me a little sample to listen to. And he's like, let me know what you think. And I was like, when I heard her, I was like, she's awesome. Like, can we get her on the EP? And he's like, I'll talk to her. And then again, like I said, I didn't have to do much after that. So yeah, that's how those worked out. And then what else? Who else was featured? Oh no, that's on, I'm thinking about making the Comeback Queen. Yeah, so it's just those two.
Yeah. Man, you elevated Lavender so big. Like, oh man, you put her in a place that, like, okay, I met her before she started rapping. She would come to shows in Charlottetown that we would have. And she, much like you, started out in ciphers outside shows and cool shit. And, you know, I always say that we screwed ourselves because we didn't look at her talent for what it really was. You know, it's just like, oh, it's cool, this girl can rap. But like, it was deeper than that, much deeper than that.
Very talented.
Lavender's amazing, and the artist she's grown into is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then you can see, like, even with that, like, I hadn't met Elle, like, we had the track come out before we even met in person. Like, I didn't even meet her that year. I met her last summer for the first time, and we just clicked right away. And I was like, this is what happens when, like, Moves obviously was the one to put her on, like, on the Raw record and that first real project. And it's fantastic. And that's kind of like the beauty of things and how they can grow when they're given the proper, like, watering and feeding and, you know, nurturing and like that mentorship. And I think what has happened in the music industry is that when it comes to men, like older men or men even of age, but who are in a position of power, like a producer, most of the time, most experiences with young females is that it's never an honest exchange.
Correct.
So the friendship that Moves and Elle have, it's like, that's how it should be. And there should 100%. Be more mentors that mentor young women and men that have been in the industry for years, because those are the guys you want to work with, because they know everything. They know the ins and outs of, like, chopping up stems and mixing and mastering, and they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna charge you an arm and a leg to do something that they know they can do in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, like, somebody else from so-and-so's record label or so-and-so's friend from, you know, will be like, oh yeah, that's gonna cost you $250. And like, so you had to go where you're appreciated. And it's just so refreshing, like, just that whole introduction to Moves. And when I saw, like, the kind of work he was putting in and with Lavender on that record and continuously, it's just really, it warms my heart. Like, that's what hip hop's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about, you know, unity and, like, camaraderie, and, you know, everyone doing it for the music and doing it for the love of the art of it, not for necessarily for the dime.
100%. 100%. How did it feel to be played multiple times on DJ Premier's, show?
Well, I couldn't believe it. So again, it's all, I wish there was more words in the vocabulary to, like, explain that feeling when someone says, like, someone you've looked up to, or like someone artistically you've looked up to has recognized your work. And even if it's as simple as like a play on a radio show and it only happened once or twice, 3 times in our case, which was totally crazy, but it's almost sort of like I don't want to say like a validation, but at least like a kind of like a pat on the back to say like, you've been working so hard. Not like they know you personally, but this is what I think in my head. It's like, you've been working at this so long and so hard. And, you know, this is like a pat on the back to say you're on the right track. Or like, I keep going. Like, it's a little bit of motivation to say, okay, you know what? Don't quit now. Like, you keep writing, keep doing music, because it's like finally getting heard. Like, finally getting heard by this, you know, the certain ears that you would want to hear it. Not
the masses.
Yeah, the message.
The
Exactly.
masses. The mass appeals.
Seriously, word up.
For real though. How did you get into hosting radio shows?
Okay, so I actually went to college for radio broadcasting. So I always knew I wanted to get into radio, if not TV, and that whole like media, like entertainment media. So, well, the professional side of radio is very competitive, I'm sure you know. So it didn't actually pan out for me career-wise. I kind of leaned more on my graphic design and my like freelancing, but I volunteered at Radio Western, and they had the community host program. So I completed the courses, and I got my own radio show with I share a radio show with AB Quality. It's called Drop the Needle Radio, Saturdays at 6 p.m. on Radio Western. So that kind of came out of me. Yeah, it's just a volunteer thing, and it really is for the love. Like, Hollywood was there, has been there for like 10 plus years, previously on Sausage Gut Radio, and now breaking I'm gonna say breaking
North.
Break North Radio. Yeah. So I was hanging out the station a lot, and it kind of just happened like organically. I hate saying the word organically because it sounds so corny, but it did happen very naturally.
But that's the moral to your story. Organic.
Yeah.
Just things falling into place because they were ordained to do that.
I like it.
No, for real. And that brings me right into the new host of Rhapsody. Fuck. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Like, that's how fucking huge it is.
I don't understand any of it. Like, honestly, I don't know if anything's official yet. I know that like it's a brand new adventure for the team behind it. So like this, it's not like, I don't know where, it's not like it's like you're working for an entity. It's very much freelance. It's very much a grassroots gig. And I love it because I love hip hop music and I love all music, but this channel will give independent artists that much music love that used to give independent artists here in Canada, that it's that little, there's a gap right now because you can go on YouTube and make your own playlist or, you know, let autoplay, but there's ads in between. And you know what? The funny thing is about people always used to complain about commercials and on television. And it's funny because I actually like watching commercials. I don't know if it's just because I grew up watching commercials, but it's something about having cable or television where you can put on a channel and walk away and the program is going to take care of itself in the background. And you know, like, there's always something on in the background and you know, like it's all taken care of. It's all good for you. And that's exactly what New Music Nation is offering the masses. It's like, what are you into? Punk? Are you into hip hop? Well, we'll take care of you. We'll curate this quote unquote playlist, but it's not just music. It's not just a playlist of videos. There's actual content intertwined. So you're learning, you're not just observing, like you become a part of that experience. And that I think that is that human touch that's missing from television that Much Music did have, that I believe New Music Nation will provide, even though if it's like once a week the show's uploaded or whatever, once a month. I'm not sure the cadence of how it's all going to go down, but yeah, the first episode I was honored with the opportunity to host, and he drove down to London and the team like did the thing, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay. This is great. And I'm probably just as shocked as almost everybody else. So
Wow. It was so big. Man, how much time did you have to plan that out?
oh, about a few weeks. Yeah, it was about a few weeks before they arrived. So yeah, about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah.
I loved how you curated the episode because you kind of gave us a bit of the culture in London.
Oh man, because I was like, where are we going to film? Like, cause they're like, oh, we'd like to have like, think of interesting backdrops. Well,
Mm.
and I was like, London, Ontario. Like, oh man, this is going to be tough. Like, we have like a museum and we have the Thames River, but I'm like, these aren't interesting backdrops. Are they interesting? So, anyway, so you guys got to see a few of the cooler places that I could possibly think of in downtown London. Obviously it's quarantine and COVID, and so like there's nobody around, and it's a kind of like a ghost town all the time downtown, but it's way more now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried to do like the little hip hop scene justice that on the first episode for sure. I'm like, who knows if they're gonna come to London again and film this with me? So I'm gonna hit up those local spots that really resonate, and if people tour like want to visit London, like you definitely have to hit up Grooves. So I'm like, I'm gonna shout them out. Always supporting local, and yeah, it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun.
You rocked it. I said right away, I said she brought the feeling back.
Oh my, aw.
The feeling, you know the feeling when you're sitting there watching Rap City for your favorite underground cat, and it's
Yeah.
just like Master T is giving us fucking fire, you know what I'm saying, the culture, and you brought that feeling back. That was the most amazing thing that could have happened. And actually it kind of made me look at New Music Nation like, oh, this could happen, this could actually bring the feeling back in a real way.
Wow, I'm gonna have to take that soundbite.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You had a special relationship with Much Music growing up, though, right?
Did I? Oh, didn't we all have a special relationship? Honestly, I was obsessed every
Yeah.
Friday, channel 29. It was always locked on. And I remember we had this old TV where you had to go up to it and like punch in the number. It was like an RCA. It was like the first flat screen of its kind, but it still had a big box at the back. But yeah, you get to punch in the number, and you had to stand up there, or else your older sibling might come in the room and change the number, and you had to get up off the couch and fight them.
That's right. That's how it goes, man. Okay, let's get into some of your lyrics because you're a lyricist. We have to.
All right.
Cool. So on Ode to My Female Rapper, you said, getting mad at me just because you can't flow, try to battle me. You in the streets, you get snowed. Rapping over industry beats, I'm so pro. I got new reason for. I'm so cold.
Wow, how did you find those lyrics?
We gotta find those lyrics. You're someone.
Good job.
We have to.
I'm like going along. I'm like, yep, that's it. Those were the lyrics. Yes.
Yo, I was so worried I was gonna get that messed up.
No, you did great.
Killer.
Yeah,
man.
that was $2 holla.
Mm-hmm.
That was the $2 holla, wasn't it?
Yes. Ode to My Female Rappers.
Female rappers, yeah. Oh my God, I was obsessed. Like my favorite, and to this day, my favorite female MC is Eternia. And at the time, back when Much started branching off and had like Much Vibe and The Mix, and like they had their own like hour-long shows, where they were more playlisted, but Eternia was on Much Vibe, and she had like the Factor grants, and she had videos, and I was just like, oh my God. And then I actually got, I think my first TV gig was as an extra in her video with Classified, DL Incognito, and Oh my God, who's the other one?
Um,
DL classified Eternia. Oh my God,
oh,
I'm gonna have to look it up. Anyway.
me too. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Maestro, what the heck?
Yo, I'm East Coaster and I get that. I'm
Anyway,
bugged out.
I'm like, he's been here for a long time. Anyway, yeah, and Maestro, and I got to be in the crowd. Like, you can't see me in the video, but I was behind the scenes, and she was getting her makeup done, and it was a very small place. Like, it was cold. It was a warehouse, and she was getting her makeup done, and like everyone's just kind of like, you know, glaring around, and I was like waiting for her to get her makeup done so I could go up and basically be like, hey, remember me? And I basically message and email her sporadically just to be like you're awesome and this is my music if you want to check it out. And I've been doing that since like 2001 or 2 for Eternia. But you know, she's the sweetest. She's most powerful MC, and it has nothing to do with female or male. She's like the most powerful and the most lyrical, and I personally feel like the most clever and witty MC of like this generation. And she was a big inspiration for me to really take music seriously. Like, she was so sweet. She was awesome. She is
ew. I love how she speaks through her pain and articulates it.
Oh yeah, she's so poetic. It's like it's very intimidating, but she has it. She's gifted.
She speaks about relationships like nobody else, for sure. Yeah. You're dope at that too. In Love Song, you said, if it's true love, then God will have sent you. Fire.
Thanks, Mike.
Yo, that's ill. I loved how you put that in kind of like a poetic way, you know. On People Say, you said open mic nights Thursday, the Wick. Rose through solo, my crew 2 chicks. Wrecking on the beat, Sum-01 keep it lit.
Go Mike, go Mike.
Yo, go someone. Yo, you were telling us about the Wick.
Yeah, I was. Oh my God, those nights were so much fun. But I it's funny because that line's kind of contradictory. It's like, are you rolling solo or with 2 chicks? I don't get it.
No, you came up solo, but you're rolling with 2 chicks.
Yeah. So that was like myself and my girlfriends at the time, Ashley and Jackie, who came every Thursday to these open mics with me. And they just came to drink. Like, to be honest, I don't even think they were there for the actual artists or anything. They just came to hang out. But that's how we rolled through every week. You're
better than me. I could never get my friends to go to open mics with me.
Oh my God, no, they're just like, we'll be on the patio. And like back then you could smoke on the patio. So they just like would stay out there and they'd come in, you know, every now and then. But I was like, that's how we roll. Too funny.
Hell yeah, man. On the song Down with the System, you said crimes against women say we hate men. Violate me or my girl, you ain't my friend. That's a fact. And I feel like that's fair as hell.
Yeah. It not that it's meant to be a biased thing, because like I think a lot of the like Me Too and like the feminine, like quote unquote feminist movement, a lot of non-supporters would say, oh, you guys just hate men. And like it's like supporting women has to equal degrading men, when that's not the case. It's we support men, and so men should support women in the same equal way. And women shouldn't have to be in fear of getting assaulted because maybe they're the only one in the room. Like, there's so many different scenarios. So that line basically speaks to that, is that there's crimes being made against women.
Yeah.
Like, so don't say we hate you, but if you do violate anyone I know, well then, yeah.
Then we're not friends.
Yeah. In a friendly way.
Yeah, no. It's so base level to treat women fairly. Y'all create all the people. What the fuck?
True. That's true.
That's so crazy to me.
Everyone came from a woman. We're not going to go down the Tupac Avenue, but yeah, we all came from our woman and got our name from a woman. So
right, no, it's true. It's base. It's, you know, you should be fair. All right, we need to talk about the people in your life that help you and hold you down.
Awesome.
Namely, DJ Hollywood. Shout out to him. Thanks for setting up this interview, bro.
Holly.
Hell yeah. He's still your DJ to this day?
Yeah, he's my DJ and my partner, and he's in the next room.
Peace and respect. Peace and respect.
Yeah, that kind of worked out organically.
It organically fell into place for you.
Again.
Yo.
That's the key word of the day. You know, when you were a kid and you watched like those shows on PBS or whatever, and they're like, there's that word.
The word of the day is organic.
On the bottom of the screen. Oh my God.
Fuck yeah, man. That's fire.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's a boss. Hollywood's a man.
And he's your manager, low key.
Low key.
Holds it down. Talk to me about Modi at Positive Journey Lounge.
Yeah, man. He's a Radio Western. Well, he's a DJ, and he's also a Radio Western DJ, and he also has his own KNR radio. Shout out Modi Daja. His show is on right before Break North Radio, and it's on right after Drop the Needle Radio. So when I started volunteering at Radio Western is when that link came up. Really, I'm not going to say it again, but that link came up.
Organically. Yes.
Yeah, that link came up, and it was right at the time I needed to record. I was recording the $2 Hollow 2.0. So we recorded that with Modi at his home studio, and he mixed it and everything. So that connection is pretty tight, and yeah, it's all love for Modi. It's all love for all the Radio Western DJs and hosts. Like, we haven't seen each other in like 18 months because of quarantine, and you know, things feel really off, but yeah, those are the homies. Modi Daja, AB Quality, Harina, who else? What is that? Zara, DJ. I think she changed her name though. It was Brown Skin Lady. There's like a lot of DJs in London actually. Chase March. Well, he's kind of out of town. But he has a show on Radio Western. So yeah, we're holding it down at Radio Western, and so is Modi.
Right on. Shout out to Radio Western.
Yeah.
Someone, thank you so much for rocking out with us at East Coast Coverage. We appreciate you. And
honestly, this has been
you
so
keep
much
giving
fun.
us good shit.
It's been so. What's the weather like over there?
It's probably about to rain right about now.
Okay.
It's kind of muggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like super humid and hot here. I'm in my room actually with the humidifier right beside me. So I'm glad that audio didn't pick it up. Like,
no,
I'd be melting without it.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, you know, gotta thank the universe for the heat or the cold, the fact that we're here. It's all a good thing.
Hell yeah, especially the things we've been through. We gotta thank God for what we've been, you know, that we're still here. Yeah, shit is not guaranteed. But thank you for putting on for the culture in the way that you do. It means a lot to someone who loves the culture like I do.
No, I really appreciate it. And like, thanks, shout outs to Breaking Wreckords and the radio. And what did you say? Was it East Coast Management?
East Coast Coverage is the
East
show.
Coast Coverage.
Yes.
Shout out to East Coast Coverage and Breaking Wreckords, radio, Instagram, you know, follow that.
Hell yeah. And as I always say, peace, love, and respect. It's hip hop, baby. Thank you very much.
I got the Midas Touch, everything I hold a touch combust to gold dust. You see see me as a threat, but you don't need to sweat, cause your girl know I keep her wetter than a Chia pet. Ain't nobody give a fuck when you doing bad. Motherfuckers wanna hate when you doing good. Hoping that this feeling doesn't stay. Getting drunk every day, waiting till it goes the fuck away. Then I wake up to another day just to face reality again. Cause the buzz of pain doesn't change a fucking thing. Nothing comes next, I wonder what's next. I used to be atheist, but now I just say fuck it, I'm blessed. Fuck it, I'm blessed. They say it's easier said than done, so I'm working till I get it done.